have a big
Yeah.
presentation, so yeah.
Okay. Well, then, welcome. Today, our presentation is on using apps, devices, and AI for mental health. And I will be chat moderating today. And so I just want to let everyone know that we do have ASL interpreter today, and we have live captioning. So if you would like to turn those captions on, there is a button on your menu bar that says CC. You can click that to turn on your captions. And anytime during the presentation, feel free to chime in the chat or unmute and ask a question or raise your hand. We welcome any and all questions. And anything typed in the chat, I will read aloud. For example, Chris says hello and thanks all. And yeah, we can get started. If you have any questions, though, please feel free to ask.
Wonderful. Thanks, Abby. My name is Amy Stirk, and I am the program director for the Assistive Technology Program for Michigan Assistive Technology Program and Michigan Disability Rights Coalition. Excited to join you all today. Um, just as an accommodation, I'd like to give you a visual description of myself. I am a white woman with now mostly gray hair, and I'm wearing a blue um, and vined in black top. Um, oh, and on this slide is a picture of me with my kids when I had more, not gray hair. And my email address is Amy, spelled AIMEE, at mi-at.org. Jana, do you want to introduce yourself and give a description?
Sure. My name is Jana Bitterly, and I'm the Training and Virtual Outreach Coordinator for the Michigan Assistive Technology Program and Michigan Disability Rights Coalition. I am a white woman with shoulder-length brown hair, and I am wearing a bright blue, feisty, and non-compliant t-shirt and a gray cardigan. And the picture of me is actually me holding our dog when he was a puppy. And his name is Cooper, and he is a American Cocker Spaniel.
And I'm so sorry. I realized I did not introduce myself. So I will be chat moderating, but my name is Abby Squires. I am the AT specialist for gaming and crafting at Michigan Assistive Technology Program. And I will be chat moderating, but I will also be chiming in on the presentation throughout. And we have some new people join. And someone said, "Did you say there's an ASL interpreter? I don't see them." And you didn't. So you said never mind, but that's because I spotlighted them the second I saw you said that. So that was accurate. So I just made sure we spotlight her, and I will spotlight the presenters as well. And then we can get started.
Thanks, Abby. We at a Michigan Assistive Technology Program are all people with disabilities, supporting other people with disabilities to access assistive technology. And some of my disabilities are that I'm autistic and I have PTSD. So I'm excited to present about AT for mental health today because I use these AT myself and I really believe in access to supports and services for mental health in a person-directed, self-directed way. So I'm excited to share with you today. This slide is about questions and housekeeping. Questions are welcome throughout our presentation. You can put them in the chat for Abby and she will voice them, or you can request to be unmuted and then Abby will make sure you can get unmuted so you can ask them that way. And then please do feel free to take care of any of your needs as they arise. Join, leave, join, whatever you need to do. And the picture on the screen is of a purple and pink neon question mark. So we kind of like to get all on the same page as far as what is assistive technology, because a lot of people think it's like speech generating devices and fancy high tech things, and it is those things, but it's also low tech items and no tech items. Assistive technology is any item, piece of equipment, software, or app that is used to help people with disabilities, including older adults, do what they want to do. And we say that technology can make things easier for everyone. For people with disabilities, AT opens up possibilities. And we have some pictures of low-tech AT on the slide, including a med manager that actually is a rainbow one with three med options per day for 7 days a week in a rainbow colors. And I have used that one myself. It makes me happier about taking my meds to have something bright and cheerful and colorful. We also have a picture of my hand holding this rock, and this is a brain gym exercise that is actually like personalized EMDR, if you've heard of EMDR, but passing this rock back and forth between your hands can help resetting your nervous system and activating the calming part of your nervous system. And the bracelet I'm wearing, there is actually, for me, assistive technology. The different beads, for me, I use them to represent, and they were originally designed to represent different parts of the loving kindness meditation, which is one that I use to help calm and center myself. We also have a picture of a woman using a walker with wheels and a picture of a doorknob that is built up with silicone handle to make it easier to grasp. The Michigan Assistive Technology Program is a free program, and it provides access to assistive technology information and services in Michigan. And there are other similar programs in all the states and territories in the nation. It is federally funded through a federal law, and our program is by people with disabilities for people with disabilities. We have a lending library of more than 2,000 assistive technology devices, and we can come to you in the community or at your home, at your school, wherever you would like, and let you try devices that might work for you, and then let you borrow them to see if they work in all of the ways that you would want them to work. And the demonstrations are free, borrowing it is free. You can request a demonstration or a loan of any of our devices by calling 800-578-0280, or if you go to our website, which is mi-at.org, you can request a demo on the website as well and take a look at some of the examples from our lending library on our website. The picture here is of our logo, which says MATP, Michigan Assistive Technology Program, and a picture of a light bulb with a little sprouted leaves growing in it that Abby designed. So when we look at mental health and neurodiversity, 1 in 5 children and adults in the US live with mental health disabilities. And people with other disabilities often also experience mental health disabilities. A lot of us as people with disabilities have multiple disabilities, myself included. And then as people with disabilities, we also frequently experience trauma, which can cause additional disabilities like post-traumatic stress disorder. As people with disabilities, we face almost double the rate of childhood trauma as the general population. And we know that trauma is intersectional. So people with disabilities are more likely to be low income. People with disabilities are more likely to have less education. People of color, people who identify as LGBTQIA+, all have a higher chance of experiencing adversity and trauma in childhood. And we know that there are supports and tools to build resilience and healing, but childhood trauma can also be a cause of disability. And we have pictures here of different kinds of childhood trauma: physical trauma, emotional trauma, sexual trauma, and household traumas. In our resource guide, there is a link to the ACEs scoring test that can help you identify how much childhood trauma you've experienced, and look at possible results of experiencing that, and then also possible sources of support. We at Michigan Disability Rights Coalition and Michigan Assistive Technology Program take a disability pride lens in our approach to looking at ourselves as people with disabilities and mental health disabilities and other types of disabilities. And disability pride is accepting and honoring our uniqueness and seeing it as a natural and beautiful part of human diversity. Pride comes from celebrating our heritage, culture, unique experiences, and contributions. So this is not to say that disability is sunshine and rainbows all the time, but it is saying that who we are and who we are as disabled people is important. It is about our community and ourselves, and looking at us ourselves as unique and wonderful people and part of a diverse community, and seeing and operating from a pride perspective of who we are and our culture and heritage. We know that when people practice disability pride, self-esteem and self-acceptance is increased. You get support in a community with a sense of belonging. When you're practicing pride, you're asking for and getting your accommodations. And you're practicing that value of interdependence. We believe that the disability community offers that to the rest of the world, that we know that no one gets by completely on their own. We are interdependent and we all have value and things to um, offer and things that we need supports with. It's also a life of honesty. We know when people mask any of their identities that it often can lead to depression and other negative outcomes. So unmasking, being who you are as a person with a disability and your other identities is a life of honesty. And it's an appreciation for diversity. The picture here we have an Ablers Club from Saginaw Valley State University participating in Disability Pride Parade in Chicago, and folks on the Capitol steps protesting. When practicing from a disability pride lens around with mental health and trauma, you're combating internalized ableism, which is when a person with a disability turns ableism or negative beliefs about people with disabilities inward on yourself. So it's when you start adopting some societal ableist beliefs and saying them about yourself, like um, I'm I'm a burden. I don't deserve this because I'm disabled, things like that. Practicing disability pride fights that internalized ableism, and using assistive technology acknowledges your disability, asking for accommodations acknowledges disability, and practices disability pride. And we know that disability pride takes practice, and I know that when I'm having struggles with internalized ableism, I can tap into my community of other people with disabilities who get it and can help me with that too. So when we're practicing disability pride in our own mental health disabilities, we're looking at what are supports for me, what things can work for me, including choosing apps. So when we look at apps, we always start with either my goal, if I'm looking for an app for myself, or the person I'm working with goal. So look at options, and we really recommend asking for a free trial, even if one isn't listed as available for the apps that cost money, and understanding the environment or context of the AT use. So like what kinds of barriers are you having? What are your goals? And where would you want to use, or how would you want to use an app to work on that? And then reviewing your resources as far as like you have the funding. We do have some funding options at Michigan Assistive Technology Program. Do you have supports for anything that you might need supports for related to the assistive technology or the app? And the device that you would use the app on, do you need to access a device? What are the warranties, repair, those kinds of options for the device that you would use an app on? And these apps and more are all listed in the resource guide that we will send out to people who registered for this training. And folks that are watching this later on YouTube, feel free to contact us. We're happy to share that resource guide as well. So just a couple of mental health apps in AT. I'm going to talk more at length about PTSD Coach, which is my favorite and free assistive technology app for mental health. And it's not just for folks with PTSD, although that is how I came to understand and learn about it. But we know that there are apps for mental wellness, self-care, apps for anxiety and stress. There are apps where you can try and practice coping skills, and there are apps for tracking mood and symptoms. And when I was having a lot of symptoms and having PTSD flashbacks and things like that, those mood tracker apps were very helpful to work with my therapist with so that we could see trends and look for more supports when needed. So one example of a mental health app is the Calm app. And there's a picture in the corner here. It starts off by asking how you're feeling and offering different resources and tools and things. Calm has kind of exploded. I was in Target yesterday or the day before and saw like now they have like scent infusers from Calm that you can buy on the end caps of Target. So that actually makes me a little nervous, but there are lots of options for trying different things in Calm. There's a free version, there is a subscription version, and then there is one attached to like health insurance plans too. So that's one option. An option that a lot of us in the AT program use is the Finch app, and that's a self-care app. Abby, do you want to say anything about Finch? Oh, you're muted.
Um, I just love it. Um, it just makes things a lot more fun. It kind of like gamifies self-care. And it kind of also helps. It's almost like a to-do list, but also a habit tracker. And it makes it fun by like you accomplish a task and you click, you did it, and then you get coins, and then you get to buy cute outfits and stuff for your bird to like customize their home and their outfit. And then you can add friends and send like encouragement, or you can do group tasks. So like if Amy and I wanted to work on drinking more water this week, we could have that shared task and like send encouragement back and forth. Um
There's
and
some
yeah, I
there's some goal things that you can do on it too. Like you can say like I want to meditate more, and then it will offer meditations and things for you to try. And I have a friend that um, is going through a stressful time right now, and she said that the breathing exercises and meditation exercises are super helpful for her. So,
yeah, and it has like room for like reflection as well. Like you can
oh yeah,
like type in,
journaling.
it's almost like a journal as well. I don't utilize that one as much, but it is there. It has a lot of other features that I don't utilize, but I know are super helpful for others.
Yeah. Other things are like the rack that I was talking about and bracelet, different what they're called brain gym activities to help with either calming down or amping up, having your mood or your energy level match the energy level that you need for the task at hand. But some more about PTSD Coach. It is in English or Spanish, and I think they're adding other languages or maybe already have. You can get it as an app or on your desktop. It can track your progress and personalize. It was originally developed by the Veterans Administration for veterans, but they make it available for everyone for free. And it covers all of the different signs and symptoms of PTSD, which includes some things that even folks without PTSD are interested in, like feelings of sadness or hopelessness, anxiety, feeling disconnected from reality or dissociation, or disconnecting from people, and then other things that are specific to PTSD only, like reminders of traumas and being triggered by things that are related to the trauma. But for depression and anxiety, other things like that, it's also super helpful. And the way that it works is, or the way that I've used it is, you can tell the PTSD coach like which of these symptoms I'm having. For example, I'd select that I'm feeling sad or hopeless, and then on the right here is a picture of the meter that you use, and you say how sad or hopeless you are on a scale of 1 to 10. And if you report that your sadness is at like a 9 or a 10, it will suggest that you talk to a human, that an app is not enough. And if you are having like a panic attack anxiety level, level 10, which I have had when I was using this app, it also suggested like this app is not the most effective support for you right now when you're at that high of a level of anxiety. But if you select below 9 or 10, say your anxiety is level 5 right now, it will suggest options for managing your anxiety. And if it suggests a meditation, it will actually walk you through the meditation and do the meditation. It can do a guided meditation, it can do a breathing meditation, it can do, it sometimes will say, take a hot and cold shower, or all these different options for support for yourself with your symptoms. And then you rate your anxiety if that's what you reported after you try the suggestions, or you can give the suggestions a thumbs down and it will come up with another one. Like if you're like, no way am I taking a shower right now. And sometimes I am like very not in the mood for meditating, so suggesting that will tick me off. So anyhow, once you try the things or give them a thumbs down and find things, it will start tracking what things work for you. What things do you actually like and find useful and reduce your symptoms. And it will suggest those more, and it will stop suggesting the ones that
I
you.
I love that feature because mine does not bother to tell me to do positive affirmations in the mirror anymore. Because every time I'm like, no, absolutely not. That does not work for me.
My Finch app
Um,
still tells me to do that, and I'm like,
yeah. Oh,
no.
and speaking of, Michelle did mention that they just started using the Finch app and find it super helpful. And then I just commented a little emoji of a bird and the lovey-dovey face.
That's good to know. I have really
Yeah.
liked it. There are times when I am having more symptoms where the Finch app actually makes me angry, and that's actually how I know I'm not doing so super well, is when I am angered by suggestions to do things. But I'm glad that you're finding it useful, and I I definitely know lots of people that find it useful, and I have found it useful for many, many days too. So PTSD coach, I super recommend that you try it. There's all kind, if you're like a research geek, there's all kinds of research on the effectiveness of PTSD coach for lots of different kinds of people. And they're keeping on doing this research, and it all is evidence-based options for handling increasing symptoms. Um, and it's free. There are also lots of apps for substance use and recovery, and I have some of the logos here. One is Sunnyside. Um, I think this blue one might be Mind Shift CBT. There's like a white circle with blue eyelids and a smile in a blue square. And then there's a picture of Checkup and Choices where you can document for yourself your recent drinking behavior. So when you look at apps for substance use and recovery, you definitely want to look again at your symptoms. Like, are you having anxiety related to drinking, or do you treat anxiety with drinking or other substances? Are you having any trouble with executive functioning, like planning and putting things in order and managing your time and things like that? Are you having any symptoms related to safety? Are you having any remembering kinds of symptoms or needing support for medication management? And then see which features you're interested in and then compare those to the apps that are available. The nice thing they found with apps for people in recovery is that the apps are for you personally. The info doesn't go other places, and the apps are designed to not be judgy in any way. So people are more honest with apps than they are with therapists, friends, other kinds of supports, because it's just being with yourself. Although Abby and I were just talking about the Finch app and how we lied on it sometimes. So, might depend on
Yeah.
you personally. That's a more recent trend that I probably should think about. Anyhow, the Sunnyside Quit Drinking app has a mindfulness approach. The 24 hours a day app has a meditation approach. The Mind Shift app has CBT approach. Everything AA uses the 12 steps and has is related in every way kind of to the program and to the readings and things available through AA. Sober Sidekick is kind of like a group virtual support membership approach to recovery. And the checkup and choices is like tracking and supports for that and what choices are you making. Some of them like checkup and choices also can track like how much money you've saved by not drinking or not smoking or things like that. So lots and lots of options available for substance use too. Then there are options for assistive technology for self-regulation. And self-regulation is the ability to manage positive or negative emotions, sensations, and thoughts. And it includes being able to regulate reactions to strong emotions like frustration, excitement, anger, embarrassment, and fear. It includes being able to calm down after something exciting or upsetting, to focus on a task or to refocus on a new task, and to control impulses. And the picture we have here is everyone going for the buttons on the dashboard of the Inside Out um, movie with all the different emotion characters. Just a little bit about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is what um, we can use to, like knowing about it, we can use it to help calm down our body. It's involved in mood, speech, breathing, heart rate, digestion, urine output, mucus and saliva production, your taste. And if you can work on stimulating your vagus nerve to do the rest and digest, um, to help your body calm down, there are ways to do it just singing, gargling, cold showers, breath work, massage, and high intensity impact exercises. And we have pictures representing the different ways that you can stimulate the vagus nerve without a device or anything, and pictures representing the different effects that the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system has on our body, and the vagus nerve, all the different body systems that it impacts. We have apps and devices to what's called enhanced vagal tone. One is called the Sensate, and it vibrates and sits right on your sternum, and that is supposed to activate the vagus nerve. With it is an app that shows breathing that you can do with the vibrations that are matched to each other. And this is about a $300 item. We have it available for people to try. With enhanced vagal tone, you can do to enhance vagal tone, you can do deep breathing meditation, the brief exposure to cold, um, getting connected to folks socially, um, and physical activity, especially aerobic. Um, I just got for my kiddos this cold roller that like it's meant to like reduce wrinkles and things, but you can put it on your temples, on the back of your head, roll it however, and like a brief exposure to cold can get your vagus nerve to kick in and help calm down. And it's surprisingly effective.
Yeah.
But oh, was there
I was
something?
just gonna say I've used that before. It's very soothing. I feel like very calming for
Yeah, you
me.
would think it'd be shockingly cold, and it is like the first second, and then it feels really good.
Yeah.
Devices we have the Sensate, which is pictured here on the woman's neck, but there's also one called Truvaga, Apollo, AmmoFit, Pulsetto, and then we actually do have the Cephala, which actually was first recommended to me by my kid's psychiatrist and was originally developed to help people with migraines, and you put it on your forehead, which is also a place where you can activate the vagus nerve. And they're looking at it, and my kid's psychiatrist suggested that it is very effective for folks that do not want to use meds for ADHD. They don't advertise that on their website. She was just at a conference where she learned about it, but it is available also to try out from the lending library for us too. A couple apps that support emotional self-regulation. There are emotional self-regulation parts of the PTSD coach. There's I Breathe and Medito about meditation and breathing, a 12-step toolkit, Rosebud for journaling, and Mebot, which is a memory and life flow app that you can like tie together with AI. It uses AI and kind of invades your life, in my opinion. But for those that are really comfortable with how much the world online knows about you or the world of computers, it might be a really great way of trying to incorporate, like you can put in life experiences, memories, and epiphanies that you have. It's an interesting tool that you might want to try out. We also have AT for self-regulation. We have a bunch of fidgets, quiet fidgets, inconspicuous fidgets, super conspicuous fidgets, fidgets that might bring joy, fidgets that might bring calm. Lots of options to try. Pictured, we have some of the Oh No rollers. There's a stainless steel one that you can roll like between your hands or just with one-handed. There's a metal, all metal one, there's heavier ones, and then there's a silicone one with bumps on it. For some people, those bumps can help you want to not self-harm because it's kind of like a little, not those particular bumps. We have rollers that are a little painful, like if a pain sensation, a mild pain sensation is something that your body wants to feel, that might be something to try. There's squeezing of different densities and different materials and sides, so like different ways of squeezing. Some they're like you definitely want to try them because some for some folks like the tactile sensation is an ick, and some it is a yes. So lots and lots of different kinds of fidgets to try. We also have a hammock chair. A lot of people find the back and forth motion of swinging super calming and regulating. For people that want more visual stims, I'm a visual stim person. I love to watch sprinklers. Those are not always available, so we have like the Aurora light projector that projects all kinds of different patterns and colors onto your ceiling, and it also can be paired with sound. And you can change the brightness, the speed, and the colors. So lots of options there. We also have, oh, is there a, nope, okay. We also have e-bikes and things that, again, bilateral movement of drumming, biking, yoga are all things that can stimulate the vagus nerve. So there's a picture of a bike here. And then we've worked with Autism Level Up. For other folks that are autistic like me, you might want to try a system where you try different kinds of assistive technology or movements and see if they're soothing, neutral, or alerting, and if you say yuck, okay, or awesome to them, so that you have a list for yourself, or I do this with my kids, what works for you, and do you need to level up or down your energy to match what you need for the situation. And I have a soon-to-be 8-year-old that thinks level 10 energy is perfect for every situation. Her occupational therapist is really working with her, like, if you have to write a paragraph, and she also has fine motor disabilities, like, is level 10 really what you need to be focused and concentrating on writing a paragraph? And she's still not quite there yet. But for those of us that can understand, level 10 is not always what you need, and sometimes you need to come down and sometimes you need to come up. The system of like identifying what works for you, what you like, and how it changes your energy can be really beneficial. We also know that mental health really affects daily living. So your mental health and trauma can affect like your ability to cook and eat, bathing and dressing, organizing, getting to and from work and school, taking care of yourself and your family. It affects recreation, socializing, and your performance of school and work. There's a picture here of a family of different ages eating or preparing breakfast. So also in our lending library, we have this book, How to Keep House While Drowning, that a number of us on the AT team have read and found super helpful for ideas for living while you're managing your symptoms and like basically assistive technology for coping while you're drowning. So some examples of assistive technology when you are feeling like you're drowning, like using paper products to eat off of so that you don't have to even consider cleaning up all of the plates and things like doing the dishes. Using smart ovens, and we have those in our lending library. They can make cooking a lot easier. We have some that like read the code on the back of a microwave preparable meal or a pre-prepared meal, and you just take it out of the carton, have the barcode read and put it in the smart oven and that perfectly cooks it for you. I have definitely had times where I was not doing well and the idea of cooking and organizing to cook and doing all the steps to cook and prepare meals is just too much. Um, Using delivery services if you have the privilege and money to be able to do that. There are apps, and Jana's going to talk about AI for cooking with what you have on hand. Um, Definitely can be times where, like, the thought of going to the store, organizing to get somewhere to get what you need is too much. So, like, what can you make with what you already have? And there's some really great strategies that I appreciated in how to keep house while drowning for cleaning. And it's focusing on not judging yourself and that like what you need to do to be safe in your home. Um, like if you have things that are going to make your home unsafe, if they aren't cleaned, like the best possible way to just handle those if you can, to just maintain your safety when you're gave me permission to just throw some stuff out too. So there's just all levels of support since it's written by a therapist. It's a really great guide. And it's available on Libby for those that use the library for free. It's pretty short, easy to listen to, and give yourself a break. Stop judging yourself and handle cleaning and organizing in ways that work for you. We also have AT for sleep, weighted blankets, body pillows, weighted stuffed animals, sound bars. I have to turn my brain off to sleep, and to do that, I have to listen to podcasts so that it can, like, mildly interesting, something that's not about the things that my brain wants to worry about. So there's ways of sleep bars and things, pillow headphones to listen to things to help you sleep, meditations. There's a picture of a hatch light here that also helps with setting up a regular sleep cycle for yourself with a light that can help you wake up.
And I wanted to just jump in because you maybe think of something that our one coworker, she turned me onto a podcast called Sleep With Me, and it's a helps you sleep. It's a guy named Scooter, and he basically bores you to sleep. And he like, but sometimes like, because there'll be like Great British Bake Off episodes or Doctor Who episodes. So it's like kind of something I'm somewhat interested in, but I know I don't need to pay attention because it doesn't make sense what he's saying. Like he'll start one way and completely go off on different weird tangents and he has like this monotone voice that really bores you to sleep. And so like it kind of just keeps you company until you fall asleep. And that's the first time I listened to it, I was like, absolutely not. How can anyone fall asleep to this? But then after that, like it's been a huge help for me.
That's so cool. He's not the British guy with the really nice voice. He's the
No.
Okay. There's one with a British guy that I'm like, I just really like his voice. There's also one that Hatch puts out called The Nightly, which has a rotating group of people that is like mildly interesting too, and just interesting enough to like that you're listening, but not so exciting that it's not okay to just fall asleep to. So thanks for sharing that, Abby. There's also all kinds of assistive technology for supported executive functioning, like focusing attention, working memory, time management. Um, so some apps for executive functioning, there's Goblin tools. Abby, do you want to talk about that briefly?
I would love nothing more. I love Goblin Tools. So Goblin Tools is a free AI powered website. There is also an app, but I believe those ones cost like $3 or $4. But the website is just, I love it. It's designed to help people with executive functioning, and it offers like a collection of different tools that can help break down overwhelming tasks into like smaller steps, estimate how long the tasks might take, organize ideas. It'll help you like rewrite messages, interpret tones of messages, help with planning, decision making. Like one of my favorite ones is the magic to-do list. Like you could type in something like, I need to clean the kitchen. And you press a button and it'll instantly break it down into smaller tasks like clear the counters, load the dishwasher, wipe surfaces. And then I'm like, that's still too broad because I normally break those down even more. And so you can hit to like break those steps down even more and you can edit them, you could add subtext tasks and you can really customize it. But it's just super helpful and it can help like reduce stress and decision fatigue and just makes some tasks feel a lot more manageable. And there's other things like the chef one that you can just put in what kind of like what food you have on hand in the fridge, and it'll say all the things that you can make with that. And so things like that, it's super helpful.
And someone in a past webinar shared about that too, and that they really found it super helpful, especially when they're experiencing a lot of symptoms. There's also the Pomodoro focus timer, which one of our colleagues uses that like you just start a task and you start a timer and it has you work on the task for a certain number of minutes and then take a break for a certain number of minutes and then work on
I
it
think it's like
again.
25 on, 5
25,
off,
five
and then
off.
like
Yeah.
and that does work. That did work for me for a little bit. And I think it's because it creates kind of like that mini time pressure that helps me like want to like race the clock and get stuff done. Um, but it doesn't always work for me. I have to be in like the right mood for it to actually work, but I've heard it help a lot of people.
It really can be, and your brain can also be like a what's called um, PDA, which can be
Oh, abs
pervasive. Well,
defiance.
there's demand for autonomy and there's pathological demand avoidance. There's different ways of they name what the PDA stands for, but that my PDA brain will
Mhm.
like fight an app like that if I'm experiencing more symptoms.
Like,
But
don't tell me what to do.
yes, don't.
Yeah.
I will fight you. But that can, for folks that don't have PDA, especially, can be great. There's also apps like Dalio and ChoiceWorks where you can plan your day and even create your own visual calendar. Then Cold Turkey Blocker Pro can like make your phone a brick. There's other apps I think called the brick where you can't access things that would be distracting. And the forest app, there's a picture here of different trees that you can grow when you complete tasks and things. Actually, they do plant trees through the app um, for you for completing things. And then there's the visual where you can grow your own little forest. There's options for organizing memory, ways of using visual timers, things that would record while you're taking notes, checklists, smart devices like the A Lady, Alexa, and other smart devices where you can do timers and reminders and things like that. We've worked with a lot of folks with traumatic brain injury that have used those and the Echo devices and other calendars like the Skylight calendar to help with reminders and supports for getting homework in, putting time in for homework, remembering meds, things like that. Oh, also there's tiles and other things like air tags to help you find things, which I need them. I use them. There's also AT for safety for folks like me who have PTSD or other trauma experiences. You can have like a feeling of wanting to escape or a fight or flight response. So to lots of different things. So options for detecting or responding to danger cues and getting help. Um, There are other safety things that we have in our lending library, like the Ring doorbell, so you can know who is coming. Um, Smart locks for folks that could benefit from extra lighting for safety. There's like automatic lights for stairs and hallways. For people with forgetfulness, like myself, there are auto shutoffs for stoves, that's pictured here. And even things like no cut gloves, if related to your mental health, you are like me and a little more clumsy, or um, I've cut myself with a knife so many times and needed stitches. So there are no cut gloves, and I do think it's related to my attention focus and my visual disability. So just options for safety for assistive technology. And then Jana can talk about some apps for safety too.
Yep, there's some personal safety apps that we have listed here. And again, these are all in the resource guide as well. Um, One of them is Everbridge. So that's one that delivers alerts and information from local public safety agencies, employers, or universities. So they can connect users to their affiliated organizations so they can get like emergency notifications, safety updates, or any community information to their smartphones. So if your organization uses that, it can be really helpful to be notified. There's also a Google Personal Safety app, so that's already on Androids, and it offers features to help users prepare for and react to emergencies. So it has emergency SOS, emergency sharing to send location, safety check for check-ins if you feel unsafe, and it has alerts for public emergencies, and it can store your medical information if you want to do that, and also has car crash detection. So Apple iPhone also has built-in features that are similar, including like a safety check and also Find My app that are similar. Noonlight is an app that is very helpful if you are worried about your safety in the moment. It actually has a button that you can press if maybe you're walking somewhere by yourself that's dark, or you can even put in information beforehand if you're like, let's say you're going on a date with someone you've never met. It's a good idea to just put that information in, and then it will automatically send that information to emergency responders if you press that button. Life 360 is a tracking device for family and friends. So it has some features like crash detection, SOS alerts, 24/7 emergency dispatch, place alerts for arrival and departure notifications, which I have teenagers that are driving. So that's always helpful to know that they're safe. And there's also bubbles for temporary location privacy. And they also have, that's just the free version. There is a paid membership that offers additional roadside assistance, identity theft protection, and more emergency response. And then another way for you to support your safety is to be notified on weather. So there's all sorts of different weather apps out there. I think depending on what you're looking for, will be the one that you'll want to use. The one that I prefer is AccuWeather, but I have two weather apps because I don't always believe the first weather app. So I also have weather channels. So, but that's my second choice. So I think AccuWeather is my favorite.
Thank
Um,
you.
is it? Yeah, it's a
Yep.
good one. It,
It's more accurate than the Apple weather for sure.
Apple weather, I don't think they update all the time. My kids used
Nope.
to show me the Apple weather for the weather, and I'm like, why does it say 70 and sunny and it's
Yep.
like storming outside? So
Yep.
that one I would not suggest, but there are a lot of good choices. It just depends on what you want, but there is a resource where you can see some of the ones that are ranked higher. And then there is the Technology Safety and Privacy Toolkit. This has information about the National Domestic Violence Hotline, this Sexual Assault Hotline, and the Human Trafficking Resource Center. And it also goes over some important internet skills that help people, have security and maintain boundary from harmful relationships. So all these apps, it depends on what you're looking for. They all offer something different. So you just need to find what works best for you. And then there is a picture of a man here. He's in a thunderstorm and there's a car crash around him. So he probably was checking the Apple Weather app, apparently. So, um,
I
Yeah,
was gonna
feel free
say
to
about
list your favorite weather app in the chat. No.
oh yeah. I was gonna say that technology safety and privacy toolkit. I I have some friends who have experienced stalking, and I had no idea all the different ways that people could stalk you using technology and tools, and it's got some great information there for domestic violence and safety and prevention on like what you can do to protect your privacy and to prevent people from using the internet or stalking. So. We also know that communication and connections to community really impact mental health. So we have ways of staying connected, assistive technology for that, like smartphones and tablets and Alexa devices. We have companion pets. Last time I brought them out and about at a college, people were taking them home for exam time and using a companion pet to de-stress for examining. And we know that especially for people with disabilities, gaming, especially online gaming, can be serious interest in a way of connecting to community. And then we have other ways of accessing social media and connecting.
And Amy, we got a question. What is the companion pet?
Ah, there's a picture here of one of our, they're from Joy for All. This is an orange tabby cat. It, um, It is robotic, so no litter, and no feeding, and it has different ways of like you can brush it, you can pet it on its head and on its back, and it purrs and it rolls over. They
And
went
when
out,
it's purring, you can actually feel like the vibration
yeah,
of it purring,
and
which
it's
is really calming for people.
weighted enough so that when it's on your lap, it actually feels, I don't know, it just has a calming presence. I have a friend whose mother is in her 80s and uses it, and she's like, I know it's not a real cat. Her cat passed away while she was in rehab for a hip fracture. And she said, I know it's not a real cat, but it just makes me feel good and safe and like I know it's not real, but I like interacting with it. There's also companion dogs, although I think the cats do more things. There's companion birds, which we all find on our team annoying. We have
I do love the name though.
jellyfish.
It's called the Walker Squawker.
Walker squawk. It definitely squawks. Then we have companion jellyfish. So all kinds of options for electronic pets that can really help meet some needs for connection and calming. So that's a squawker. And then Abby is our AT specialist for gaming and crafting. We have lots and lots and lots of options for people to maintain or start a new hobby or crafting. And we also know that from rec therapists and others that, and like personal experiences, hobbies, things like this can be so beneficial to mental health. Art, your own version of art. Um, Really, there's things that make things easier to grasp and hold. There's things that make it easier to just get stuff done, like knitting machine instead of all of the work with individual knitting. There's ways for coloring, painting, sewing, all of the things. I don't know if you want to add any more on that, Abby.
No, that yeah, and like things that also like memory as well. Like we have things that help you track what row or stitch you're on when you're crocheting, and things like the no spill paint cups and different ergonomic grips. And but yeah, you covered basically a good chunk of it. But yeah.
Okay. Jana's got some more about AI, assistive technology.
Okay. I just want to give like a brief overview of AI, and I know we're running a little short on time, so I'm
Yeah,
going to make it a
sorry.
tiny bit briefer, but that's okay. So most people have heard of large language models or LLMs. These are the ones that you think of like Claude from Anthropic, Google's Gemini, the ChatGPT series, and these ones are very broad and they use billions of parameters. There is also small language models. So these ones are just scaled down versions of LLMs, and these can be great with like specific tasks if you want faster output and a less intensive use of resources. So if you're doing a specific task, that's a great one to use based on its knowledge. But they don't perform like an LLM on larger tasks. So an example of these are Gemma, GPT-40 Mini, or Llama. And Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, and Amazon Bedrock are some of the other LLMs that are available. Um, and as far as for LLMs, big or small, they're all going to follow directions or prompts. So they don't operate on their own. Obviously, you have to provide specific command or request, and this is called a prompt. And um, it's sorry. No, no. So to generate the desired output, so if you're asking a question, writing an article, or creating an image, so there's an image here created by Google's, I think it was created by Google's Gemini Imagen 2, and it's a little AI robot that says, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that." So, and as far as prompts, we'll just switch to the next one. Yep. The importance of setting context with prompts and files is critical for generative AI and LLMs because it provides a background for the model to produce accurate outputs. Prompting is easier to get good at if you play around with it rather than doing research. So, some tips are to think of a prompt as a conversation between you and that AI. You want to give it examples. Um, the best practice for structuring a prompt is role, task, requirement, instructions. So what do you want the AI to act as? You can give it a certain persona, like if it's a grant writer or if it's a professor or if it's a dentist, depending on what you want it to act as. Task is a summary of what you want the prompt to do. And then for requirement, you want to give as much information as possible so no assumptions are made. And then instructions, how you want it to go about completing the task. So you need kind of all four of those to have a really good prompt. And it's best to kind of play around in all the different LLMs. So you can kind of use ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity as playgrounds to kind of try out prompts and see what kind of response that you want to use for what you're looking for. And then the final thing I would say about prompts is to think of AI as not hallucinating. I know that's the term a lot of people use, but it's actually confabulation. So it's the generation of inaccurate information. Well, it's not true, it's plausible, it's constructed logically, and a hallucination is a false perception of something that isn't there. So that's confabulation is a more appropriate term because LLMs don't have subjective experiences, so they kind of construct false or distorted narratives from patterns of their training data when they confabulate. So a tip for when you are having using prompts and you want to avoid confabulation is to ask the LLM to only draw from the attached notes or websites you give it. And you can also have the LLM tell you it doesn't know if it doesn't know, and that'll stop it from trying to confabulate false answers.
You can also tell it back, that's not true. Check your
I
information.
have in the past.
Yep.
I have. I've been like, that wasn't right. Can
Yeah.
you try
Yeah,
again?
sometimes I'm
Like,
like, nice catch. And
I know they're like,
yeah, I'm like,
oh, sorry about that. It's like, yeah, so it's okay to talk to them and let them know what they struggled with. Some uses for AI for employment are using it for improving text. So if you're applying for jobs or other eligibility text, that can help you get exactly how you want to say it and feel professional. Um, Also, emotional tone in emails and other texts. This is really great for in reducing conflicts that may threaten mental health, and it can also build confidence for more professional communication. If you are using it, you could use it for developing change plans or marketing materials. So again, you want to really give a lot of information on this, including like timeframes and outcomes. But you can use it to kind of brainstorm what you want to do. And like I always say, it's great for brainstorming, not for writing everything. And then creating drafts of slide presentations. So there's an app called Gamma, or a website that allows you to craft 10 slides for free and 50 slides with the pay version. And this is another great way to brainstorm how you want, if you're giving a presentation, how you want the slides to look. So you can just literally put in like a word and it'll just create 10 slides for you. Um, those are some great ways for employment. And then for daily living, this can help using AI for daily living can help create structure, reduce stress and anxiety, and support some healthy routines. Um, cooking and meal preparation, I found an app called Ollie AI, and this one is a personalized meal planning assistant, and you just put in information, and it can generate weekly menus, shopping lists, and recipes for your family based on preferences, dietary needs, budget. And you can also actually integrate it with grocery delivery services. I didn't see Shipped included currently, but they do have Instacart. Now, the only downside for this one, because I really thought this one was very, very helpful, it's a paid app. You can use a 7-day free trial, but then it starts at $10 a month. So, one of the things I liked about it is you can see in the picture here that my menu includes crispy chicken tenders with lemon herb quinoa salad as one of them, and it has actually the picture of it. It does offer the ability to see what you have on hand to try to create things as well. For a free version that's similar, a Chat GPT Cooking Pro, you can use this without an app. It can be online, and it will go through and make a meal plan for you. It's not as user friendly, I would say. You have to give it way more prompting. And it also doesn't give salt and pepper measurements, which is just I like salt and pepper. I mean, it's up to the person. To taste doesn't work for me. No matter what I do, it always says to taste. But it is free, and it is, available to everyone, and it does offer a couple different options, like tell me what you have in your fridge, and I can tell you what you can make. So there's a lot of different options on ways you can use it, and it is a free version. You can use AI for calendars and reminders, and there's a lot of different options out there. I'm just going to talk about the virtual assistants briefly. There's Google, Alexa, and Siri. So these are all great options. Alexa's great if you're using Alexa in your home. It's compatible with that. Google integrates with Google services like Gmail, Calendar, and Nest devices. So that's nice if you are somebody who uses a Google Calendar. And then Siri is really great if you're a completely Apple family. For anyone who's not, it's not going to be as helpful to you. But these are all great ways to have the ability to kind of track any calendars or reminders to keep you on task and reduce some of that mental load. So it just depends on which one you use. And then AI for understanding things. So changing complex text to plain language or easy read levels can help people know what's being asked of them and can reduce anxiety and have people feel more in control of their decisions. Getting more detailed summaries by repeating prompts. So if you're looking at an article, PDFs, or clinical notes, if you get the first summary, you can repeat the prompt and ask for more detail or focus on specific sections. So this can help you get more insights into what you're looking for. Undermine is a great one for deep medical academic research. So it finds 30 to 80% more relevant research than regular search tools. So you can discover more information quicker. Clerkly app is another great one for AI-driven guidance with direct links to government sources, helping individuals understand their rights and how to navigate complex systems. So they can find you the federal regulations that can protect you with also proper citations.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, we just got in the chat. Someone said just yesterday they saw how AI app turned research articles into a podcast, which was easier to digest. I love
oh,
that.
wow. That
Cool.
is so cool. I have
Sign me
not
up.
heard of that, but I'm going to
Yeah.
remember
We'll add
that
that to our
'cause-
presentation.
Yes.
right?
Thank you.
Um, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nope, I was just gonna say thank you, Chris.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in my notes.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Abby. And then some more ideas for AI are disability accommodations using voice-driven AI. So we talked a little bit about Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistant. There's also something that there's a picture of right here that I just wanted to share about Alexa Show and Tell. So for someone with low vision, they can actually use Alexa Show and Tell to ask what something is. It looks like they are looking at a spice jar here. So objects that may feel the same, they can actually ask Alexa to read them to them. Another way that disability can be accommodated using AI is dictation software. So Dragon is one that can help as well, and with dictation. And also, Apple Voice Control can help with navigating your phone. And finally, I just wanted to touch just for a second about it's because this has come up in our trainings before about using AI as therapy. If you Google therapy AI, there's like a million different things that are popping up. And I think that that's the studies that I've read have shown that LLMs can show stigma against certain types of mental illness, and they're unregulated right now. Like AI is kind of the Wild West right now of with regulations, and it's not a good idea to be using something that's not regulated. And not only that, AI tools often lack the empathy, nuance, and ability to handle crisis situations that a human therapist would provide. So I think using AI in therapy is great for a support. So if somebody's looking for, a therapist, or a therapist is looking for maybe a note-taking tool, or wants to practice on AI maybe, but not on a real human, that would be an option, but only as a support. So I would not suggest somebody use that as their therapist, which I mean, I think we're all seeing that increasingly happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the AI portion. I think it's just important to remember that AI is a tool. It can help with like researching, summarizing, drafting, and administrative tasks, but it also has bias and it can make mistakes like we were talking about, and it doesn't have experience or empathy that's important. So it's just best to use it as thoughtfully and responsibly as you can.
No, we're over, but if there are any last questions, we'd be happy to take those, and I will show some resources to you.
Yep,
And we
and
will,
Chris
yeah,
Chris was kind enough to put the link in the chat for the
AI podcast.
publisher that for the AI
Yeah,
podcast.
thank
Yes.
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Oh,
And
and then
there are
also
some
to note
great
that,
podcasts about the drawbacks of AI too. So
yeah,
it's so much happening. Good to be
I'm
Too
aware.
so
bad.
intrigued and then terrified at the same time.
Yes.
Yes, that's
So in our resource handouts that people who signed up will get, there's a link to ACE's quiz, some information on Therapy Done and Psychology Today, which are options for finding a therapist. We have links for mental health, PTSD, and trauma support groups and forums. Connecting to those communities online can be super helpful. I really am a believer in peer support as a part of a recovery plan with mental health. And to learn more or test out the items presented, please come and request a demonstration from us, your state assistive technology program.
yeah.
Are there any questions in the chat?
We got a big old thanks
All
from
right.
Chris.
Thanks,
And no,
thanks.
no, no, thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you.
Thanks for giving us a little extra time. Sorry about that. All right. Well, thanks. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
And Michelle did say, this is Michelle from the Office for Student Access at KVCC, who co-sponsored this event with the Office for Diversity and Inclusion. And thanks to everyone.
Ah,
Thank you,
thank
Michelle. All
you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Michelle. Thanks for having
Michelle.
us.
Yeah, thank you.
right,
All
have a
right.
great day, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.